Foreign investment has been crucial to the development of Australia since the first fleet arrived in Sydney in 1788. But with China in particular stepping up its purchases of prime agricultural land, an increasing number of people are starting to worry that too much of the farm is being sold and that in time Australia's ability to feed itself could be threatened. Andrew Robertson reports.
Back in the 1980s, alarm bells were raised by the Japanese buying prime coastal residential sites, particularly in Queensland. Today, it's China's increased purchases of top-quality farmland that's grabbing people's attention.
They're buying up a lot of farmland, and with the produce they're actually growing, they're actually selling it back to their country. So what you will potentially find is a shortage in your local market where you've grown.
And in places like the Liverpool Plains region of New South Wales, China has been paying well above market values to buy farms for mining.
In this specific instance, you see that they would like to extract coal from that land rather than to cultivate it for farming purposes, and this will warrant higher prices to be paid.
Oded Ravini Etzioni has done a detailed study of foreign ownership of farmland in New South Wales and found it running at just 2%, with US and British interests by far the biggest landholders, which is why Deakin University economics lecturer Dr. Margaret McKenzie finds it curious that China is under the spotlight.
Foreign ownership was the norm under the British. The US have escaped all scrutiny, pretty much, and it seems to me to make a judgment that discriminates amongst countries.
Nationally, according to the most recent study by the federal government, foreign ownership of Australian agricultural land is 11%. The minimum threshold for the Foreign Investment Review Board to examine the purchase of Australian assets is $231 million, and for US investors it's $1 billion thanks to the free trade agreement. But land values are very cyclical.
Sometimes some of those asset purchases might be above a threshold and other times they're below it, so it makes that whole process quite arbitrary.
Dr. McKenzie has no problem with state-owned purchases of Australian land, making the point that they're often more stable and less risky than private interests.